Given the innumerable inaccuracies in this post, I'd recommend just passing by. All right, this might be a little controversial, but I just have to say something. The SEC's definition of accredited investor is problematic, and here's why. Only 10% of Americans qualify as accredited investors. What does that mean for the rest of us? That means that we don't have access to the same financial and investment opportunities as the wealthiest and most educated people in our country. While this legal definition might have been relevant and necessary in order to protect the public from rampant speculation that was going on in the 1920s, all it's done today is worsen the deepening wealth gap in America. The rich get rich and the poor get poorer. What Robinhood and Coinbase showed us is that there is a huge demand amongst retail investors for high-risk, high-return investments. All right, let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. There's been some shady and speculative activity committed by retail investors. But it's no worse than what's existed in Wall Street and Washington, D.C. for many decades. In fact, I would liken the status quo to a giant Ponzi scheme where rich and well-connected investors are pulling up the ladder behind them and leaving the rest of us in the dust.
The hype has gotten a little bit out of control.
It's out of control.
Yeah.
It's out of control.
What do you think the end is? What is the end game here?
Well, we are, make no mistake, well, you are, I'm out, because I sold, but you guys are in the middle of an enormous multivariate kind of Ponzi scheme. And so let me explain that to you because it's important for you to understand. You get courted by investors, okay? These are not people writing checks out of their own balance sheet. They're doing a job with other people's money. And for that, they get one thing that's obvious, which is a yearly fee. And then something that's non-obvious, which is a part of the gains if what you do works. Okay, right? Everybody understands that? That's how a fund that invests in you works. That fund is getting paid fees every year and then carry at the back end if it works, okay? They come to you. They're like, we want to partner with you. You're the best. We're going to help. You're so awesome. Have a fleece vest. It has our logo on it. You know, we backed blah, blah, blah company. You know, right? That's the whole, that's the basic, that's the pitch. So you say yes. And then they give you, I'm just going to make up a number, $1 million. Then you go to your first board meeting. How fast are you growing? How many of you have had these discussions? How fast are you growing? Okay, grow faster. How many of you have had that discussion? Grow faster. Okay, most of you that raised your hand. Well, it would probably shock you to know that almost 40 cents of every venture dollar right now goes right back into the hands of Google, Facebook, and Amazon. What do you think is happening there? Do you think that's all profitable growth? No. That's there to fund your superficial growth. Just because the entrepreneur or the VC gives you $1 million and tells you to grow faster, do you have better product market fit in that moment? No. You're doing what you're told to do, which is to take their money and make the company grow, superficially grow. Then what do? They turn around to their buddies and say, look at this thing, it's growing. You should do the B. And then they come into a board meeting, they're like, guys, I think we should raise a B. How many times?
They use other people's money to inflate the value of a company, all in pursuit of an exit, and then they dump these zombie corporations onto the public markets for the rest of us to foot the bill. Our pension funds are subsidizing these worthless companies while some elite sophisticate lectures us about risk and speculation. We don't want your condescension. We want equal opportunities and we won't accept anything else. Full stop. The good news for us plebes is that Reg CF provides low net worth individuals access to the same investment opportunities as those fat cats in Silicon Valley and Wall Street through an instrument known as equity crowdfunding. Equity crowdfunding allows you to invest relatively small amounts of cash into the high growth phase of an early stage startup like Fish Tank. If you're interested in learning more about these incredible opportunities, reach out to me directly and I'll point you in the right direction. Yeah, dude, people are problematic, bro. They're just problematic. I can't stand these guys. Buttholes, man.